Hello friends, welcome to a new lecture today on MCQ session of stomach. The first question is identify this investigation. So if you see, this is the contrast and the contrast is illuminating the esophagus, stomach and also the duodenum. A part of duodenum also. Okay, mostly it is stomach. So this is barium meal for stomach study. We have barium swallow is the investigation for esophageal study. Barium meal is the investigation for study of stomach. Barium meal follow through is a non-invasive contrast study of small intestine. Okay, barium swallow for esophagus, barium meal for stomach and barium meal follow through for small intestine. So this is nothing but barium meal for upper GI. Right? Next question number 2. The most common cancer to cause upper GI bleeding is, obviously, it is cancer stomach. The causes of upper GI bleeding, most commonly it is due to ulcer, peptic ulcer. And tumors constitute only for 2% of bleeding. But among them, cancer stomach is most common. Then 5. Which is true about the gastric ulcer and false about the duodenal ulcer. So we will see the options. Pain is rare at night. In gastric ulcer, pain is rare at night. True. In duodenal ulcer, pain is severe at night because of gastric emptying. Okay. Then, melena is most common than hematemesis. In true gastric ulcer, actually hematemesis is more common than melena in gastric ulcer, whereas in duodenal ulcer, melena is most common than hematemesis. So this is false. Then age is 40 to 50 years. Age is 40 to 50 years in duodenal ulcer and more than 50 years in gastric ulcer. Then fourth bit is pain is relieved by ingestion of food. Pain is relieved by ingestion of food in duodenal ulcer, whereas pain is increased after eating food in gastric ulcer. So option 1 is the only true option. Then question number 4. Which of the following is false about gastrointestinal stromal tumor? So we will see the things. Rarely occurs in the stomach and duodenum. Gastrointestinal stromal tumor occurs most commonly in stomach in 50% of cases. It rarely occurs in stomach and duodenum is false because it is most common in stomach and it occurs in almost 50% of cases in stomach. Then universally associated with c-KIT oncogene mutation. True, it is associated with c-KIT oncogene mutation. Size and mitotic index are best predictors for metastasis. Yes, size and mitotic index are best predictors of metastasis and it is sensitive to imatinib is also true. So which is not true? Rarely occurs in stomach and duodenum is not true because it commonly or most commonly occurs in stomach and duodenum. Then question number 5. Not true with highly selective vagotomy is. So we see the options. Highly selective vagotomy, other name is parietal cell vagotomy. True. Highly selective vagotomy is also called parietal cell vagotomy. In this, nerve of Letharget is sacrificed. Actually, in highly selective vagotomy, nerve of Letharget is preserved, and we only cut the nerves which go to the parietal cells. Parietal cell branches are only cut, whereas nerve to Letharget and also nerve to hepatic and hepatic part is also preserved. Hepatic branch is also preserved. Then increased recurrence rate than truncal type. True. Because all the other nerves are intact. Other than the parietal cell nerves, there is increased risk of recurrence rate. Entire gastric reservoir capacity is preserved. True, we are not doing any gastrectomy. We are just removing the part of the vagus nerves supplying the parietal cells, because parietal cells are the major source of acid production or HCl production. Then simplest investigation to be performed for suspected cases of stomach is double contrast radiography. Simplest investigation that is done is double contrast radiography for suspected cancer. Then last question. Patient on autocoids for an year complains of severe pain in epigastrium, which is relieved by antacids. He complains of right-sided iliac fossa pain and loss of liver dullness. Diagnosis is patient primarily he is on autocoid for 1 year, and then he complains of severe pain in the epigastrium, which is relieved by antacids. He complains of right iliac fossa pain and loss of liver dullness. Then diagnosis is done by, see here there is 1 year, severe pain, antacids. So definitely it is ulcer. Okay, it can be duodenal ulcer or it can be gastric ulcer. It's not, we cannot differentiate that with the features given below. And he complains of right-sided, right iliac fossa pain. True. If he complains of right iliac fossa pain, and important thing is loss of liver dullness. If there is loss of liver dullness, that means there is air present above the liver and below the diaphragm. That means there is perforation of that ulcer has occurred. So what is the diagnosis? Seeing the options, the only one option which reflects the perforation is perforation of duodenum. So we can tell that here the patient has chronic duodenal ulcer and there is perforation of the duodenum due to the loss of liver dullness. Here, because with this we can say that there is perforation with this one hint, that is loss of liver dullness. So thank you guys for watching my lecture. Thank you.